You are live. What's going on, guys? My name is Matt Freeman, and I like to talk a lot. I have not been doing much talking recently, which I'm not even sure how long I can go tonight, being as I had plans. Not crazy plans, but I planned on helping somebody out with some computer stuff, which is ironic, being as I need help with computer stuff. But the computer stuff I need help with, nobody but myself can help myself with. It's weird. Hello, Holly. Long time no see. Oh, it's been a rough last few days. I tell you what. I just saw a thing pop up on my phone that said SpaceX has a rocket that explodes, and I'm like, what? There's nothing SpaceX is even doing right now. And then I just watched the video for it, and it's for something that happened literally months ago, and it's just now being posted. Um, I've been all right, I guess. I mean, not really the greatest. A lot of bad and negativity in my life at the moment, which, you know, as expected to have said in the past, is the reason why I usually avoid YouTube and making videos and stuff. Today really wasn't any better, and I didn't really feel like doing it tonight either. But I'm supposed to be doing this daily, and I've already missed like 2 days. Maybe it was 3 days. I don't really remember. But I optingly decided that I should probably make another live stream. Like I said in the beginning, don't even know how long this will last for. It might go the entire time. It might not. I was supposed to go help somebody else out with some computer issues, and they have yet to even contact me. And being as it's going on almost 10 o'clock, I'm starting to assume they probably won't. But, you know, I don't know. They could very well still contact me. I really don't know. But um, just a lot of bad shit, Just bad shit all the way around. Probably can't notice, being as there will be absolutely zero form of way of you to notice, but I'm live streaming from my laptop because now we're back to using the laptop and the laptop only. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the reason I just kind of threw that oh yeah, by the way in there, like I was changing the subject, but I'm still on the same topic. But my gaming computer's dead. Lucky me. One of the I explained this before, but one of the most expensive parts of the computer broke, and has been very intermediate, inter whatever you want to call it. It would work, and then it would stop working, and then it would work, and it would stop working, and then so on and so forth, back and forth. Now it's just dead. Just don't work. Period. Turns on, works for literally 2 seconds. Then the graphics card fails. The computer crashes, turns off, turns itself back on without the graphics card, and then works. So the computer realistically works. It just have no way of seeing anything on the screen because the graphics card's broken. Now, to make matters even better, the fucking computer doesn't have an onboard HDMI, So when the graphics card stops working, I just lose all video. I have no way of getting video. I don't even have some fucking motherboards have a separate HDMI that you can plug in straight to the motherboard. It's like onboard video. You know, you can't use it for gaming because it needs the graphics card for the games, but it would still work in the sense of it would still let me use YouTube and it still let me live stream and stuff like that. But no, of course, how I'm so lucky all the time, my computer decided not to come with a fucking attached video port on the motherboard. So the moment that the graphics card crashes, I just lose all signal. I have no way. I have no way of doing it. So once I get $200 or $300 again, I can buy me another graphics card, which is fucking hurtful because I could have just used that $200 or $300 to buy another gaming computer. I mean, not in total. I mean, I'd have to add more than that than just $200 or $300, but just meaning like I could use the $200 or $300 and just buy another computer. But when you already have one and you can upgrade computers, it's the whole point of buying a computer is because you can upgrade them as you go. Now I'm just gonna have to buy a bigger and better fucking graphics card for it, and obviously that's expensive. So we'll have to see where it goes from there. Oh, not that I really want to divulge any too much of anything, but I've got to go to court because I got fucking summoned to court through some legally binding bullshit that I have been avoiding pretty much. And unfortunately, it's coming down to the point where I couldn't avoid it anymore because now I have to go to court and possibly see some form of repercussions of it. Does that mean jail? Probably not. I'm gonna hope so. I'm not a bad person, and I really hope that I didn't fuck myself over and have to go to like jail because I am not smart sometimes. But that's where a lot of the last few days have led me. I've been in a really bad mood due to the fact of I got a court summons, and then my computer not working for the last 2 or 3 days. A few other things on top of that. My dog killed a rabbit yesterday, which I'm not mad at her for, but I didn't know what she would do if she ever caught a rabbit. And then she caught a rabbit and killed it. And I was like, oh, so that's what my dog does when she gets rabbits. She murders them because she's like, I'm an animal, you're an animal, I'm bigger than you, and you are less in the food chain, so I will take you out. Um, good goodish news is I go tomorrow morning to get myself in the system and get my schedule for when I'm going to start working next week. So, oh, it will be an interesting job. And the only thing I think that's going to work in my favor is I get to drive around, which my car already has issues. So I'm not sure how many trips it's going to take before my car finally just breaks. And I really hope it lasts longer than like a week. Mm. But it'd be nice if I could make some money and replace the parts that I need to replace in my car first. But I watched a bunch of 10-year-olds get into a fight yesterday, and it was it built up my adrenaline / was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I've never seen little kids duke it out before. And funny enough, we egged them on. Not saying that we thought fighting was a good cause, but it come down that there was one kid who starts problems with everybody else, and he antagonizes them, and so there was a whole group of people over at my neighbor's house yesterday, a bunch of little kids, a pack of 5 10-year-olds, and the one 10-year-old that starts problems with everybody, he was not a part of that group. He showed up at the school behind my house, and he knows that they live around this area, so he saw them and he came over and started taunting them, and so then we explained to the kids, it was like, look, you got to do everything in your power not to fight somebody, try to solve it through words and everything like that. But if this kid isn't going to let up, you just need to punch him in the mouth. So they did. It was impressive, all right? Watching a 10-year-old step up and just sock another 10-year-old, it was like, what? I think they're older than 10 now. They're going into 6th grade, so I don't know. They're probably like 12 to 13, somewhere around there. So that was a little bit of excitement on a bunch of negativity. So I enjoyed it. I'm drinking coffee at 9:30 at night, which is like, oh, smart guy's got to get up and go to work or go into his job tomorrow. I'm not going to work. I just have to go into my job to finalize the whatever it's called, that fucking I keep thinking employment, but it's not employment. It's payroll. To finalize the payroll stuff, to get me in the system so they could start paying me money. And yeah, so I'm going to do that tomorrow on top of at 10:30 in the morning, on top of figuring out what my schedule is going to be. So I got to get up earlier than I have been. Waking up at noon every day is nice, but makes you really lazy. And obviously then I'm up all night because I slept all day. I love you. Where's your piggy? Where's your piggy? You sleepy with your pig? I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. My dog thinks me crazy. Imagine kind of short on things to talk about. Plus, now I wonder if Mike or if Rachel will show up. She seems to not be watching the live streams anymore. She must be bored. Bored of Matt Freeman. Too much Matt Freeman in your life. Boring. Oh, I just wish my computer worked. I can turn it on and off. It works. It just doesn't show me anything. Crashes at the same fucking spot every time. It's the point where I had it in my head that it was the fucking the fucking hard drive was bad. Which, trust me, I would love it to be the hard drive being bad. I would lose a few things on the computer that I would be a little upset with, primarily being the editing software, which I can get again, but editing software and a few videos that Mike and Rachel recorded for me that I had saved to the computer itself. But unfortunately, it is not the hard drive, and it is 100% my graphics card. Like I said, of course, it's expensive. Hard drive. Ooh, it's gonna cost me $50 to $100 for a hard drive. Oh no. Let's have the $400-600 part break. And realistically, the the graphics card that's in my computer when it was brand new was $800. So it was expensive. And if I buy the same one used, or not really used, but same one, the same model, but like the old version, because they've made like 12 different ones since this model. If I buy the old model, it's still like $300 or $400 for it. And then I'm just putting another old graphics card back in my computer. And the whole point of computers is to have the ability to upgrade as you go. So it's like now that my graphics card's dead, I could go out and buy a better graphics card and put it in. So that way, instead of being like, oh, well, I'm keeping the computer exactly the same, I could just upgrade it and make it better. Well, she's chewing on her pig, so you might hear some squeaks every once in a while. Hopefully she doesn't do it too much because it does get a little bit annoying, but unless anybody out there, anybody watching this video right now, whether you're watching it live or after it gets posted, anybody out there has a Radeon RX 480 4GB and would want to hook a brother up, oh my God, I would love you more than anything. Obviously, I assume it would be old and used because doubtful anybody's got one laying around that's brand new, but even getting a used one that still worked would be a million times better because obviously the computer's already set up for a Radeon RX 480. But obviously the chances are slim. There was a guy on Facebook who told me he had a Radeon RX 580, which is the one model up from that one that he had that he used for a little bit but upgraded farther, and he told me he'd give it to me for like 160 to 180. So I haven't finalized that, but still, then it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm gonna have to already spend the money and spend $300 or $400 on a brand new graphics card, I might as well buy one that's an actual upgrade instead of paying somebody half the price for the old one that's gonna work, but eventually it's gonna also be outdated and then it's pointless. So it just makes more sense to just say fuck it and go out and buy a new one. But it's expensive. And when you have no money, even working a job that sooner or later should come up, and I mean, the point about it is it's like the way pizza deliveries work. Obviously, I have yet to do it, so I don't know 100%, but obviously you can figure it out. Of the sense of you only get $5 an hour. So if you only work 4 hours a night and you only work for like, say, like 3 or 4 nights, let's just do 4 because it'd be more roundabout even number. So you'd only be making $20 a night at $5 an hour for 4 hours. So you're making $20 a night. And if you only worked, I think pay periods every 2 weeks. I'm not 100% on that either. But if you only worked 4 nights both weeks and you only got $20 a night due to the fact of how much at $5 an hour, then you're only making $80 a week. So the 2 weeks put together, you're only making $160 just off of hours. So obviously tips is where you make your money. So, you know, you can walk out at the end of the night with $100 easily at times doing a bunch of deliveries. But if you're not smart about that money, because you're going to take tips home daily, but you're only going to get paid your paycheck every so many, every 2 weeks kind of thing. So you just got to be smart with the money you're getting. So, I mean, if I got $100 a night and I worked 4 nights a week, that would be $400 just from that a week, which would be helpful. And then you'd still come home with a chunk of money. But the one guy that's working there now, which I don't know him, but I met him through Facebook kind of thing, and that's where I was learning about what he does. And he was the sole delivery driver for Domino's Pizza, and he was telling me that he gets between $500 and $600 a week, which, I mean, that's dope because, I mean, that's a week. That's like, 600 per week. So you got 600, 600, 600, 600 for a month. And realistically, it means you're making like $2,400 within a month, which isn't a ton of money. But being as I don't have a job currently, well, I mean, I have a job that technically I will get back to eventually once my field of work is allowed to be work open again with the whole coronavirus. But being as I don't have any form of money, fucking $2,400 a week or a month is awesome. Definitely enough to help me get by. But that's without taxes. Now, obviously, with tips, they don't really know how much money you make, so you're not going to be paying that much money in taxes. Like through tips, you're only going to be paying taxes through the money from the money that you actually get through the paycheck. So if you're only getting $160 in your paycheck, on top of having to set everything up through taxes, and then taxes take your money out, and you're going to walk home with like $120 just from your paycheck, because the majority of it's going to go for taxes. So, Izzy, could you please stop? Please, I'm sorry. I know you're trying to play with your pig and you love the fact that it squeaks, but I'm trying to live stream, and everybody on the live stream, all they're going to hear is you going, squeaky, 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 squeaky. So I need you to stop. I need you to lay down. Please? Please lay down. Good girl. Yes, my good pup. Hello, Robbie. Just, just explaining my future that is looking grim and depressing as of this point in time. What? Oh, I had lost my coffee for a short minute there. Yeah, so I mean, hopefully, I'm very friendly. Obviously, as majority of you guys on here can tell, that I'm a friendly person. I have a very personable attitude, whereas I can talk and relate to people. So delivering people pizza, now naturally, even at this point with the whole no contact shit, it's not like I'm going to be up actually physically talking to somebody. But I should have no problems with the people side of things, having to deliver a pizza to somebody's house, because I'm very good with that. But it's going to be a change of pace, that's for damn sure. Just hoping the damn coronavirus shit clears up to the point where I can actually go back to work. Excuse me. In which case, I might even keep this job that I'm getting with Domino's, just because of the sole fact of I only work during the day. I mean, like normally I work during the day and I make good money doing that. But, if I'm only going to work a couple nights a week and then just make a little extra chunk of change on top of everything, it's just like, why not? Why not work two jobs? Here I am sitting on my ass for the last 3 months working 0 jobs. And once coronavirus opens up and stops making us all fucking stay home and not allow me to do my work, then I can go back out and start working construction again and deliver pizzas at night. So that way, for a couple months, I could be making double money and pull myself back up financially. So I will be able to explain. I could do it now. Really, it's not like any legally binding issues of me not wanting to explain why I have to go to court, and it's really not a thing. Like, it's not like, oh my God, Matt did something illegal. Oh my God, like, I mean, yes, I guess it was illegal, but I'm just meaning, like, it's nothing like, oh my gosh, like, it's nothing to do with drugs, and I didn't rob nobody, I didn't kill nobody, I didn't do anything big. It's literally the dumbest reason and ever to have to go to fucking court. But like I said, I want to have more of an understanding of what's going on. I want to be able to explain the entire situation before I completely come out on YouTube and explain it, just because obviously there's a lot, I won't say a ton, but there's quite a lot of you that watch my videos, and I don't want to just make it sound like, like, oh, here's what I did, and then that's it. Like, I want to be able to explain myself. I want to explain the situation to the maximum. Being as of this point in time, I don't particularly know everything. I don't really want to. I don't want to. I don't want to talk about things that aren't real or that aren't right. I don't want to be wrong. In other words, um, but um, but it did involve money. I'll let you know that I didn't steal no money. This, like I said, I did. It's a crime. I committed a crime, but it was not the crime you think it is. And it involved money, but well, I didn't steal it, and I'm not going to jail for stealing money or nothing. It's just a big kerfuckle of a mess. It's something that legitimately happened years ago. That's just now biting me in the ass, and now I have to go to court for it. Like I said, I don't think it involves anything that involves jail. I really don't think that it's going to involve anything besides them like yelling at me, and then I'm going to have to pay somebody some money. Like, it's just a mere fact of I got summons to court due to the fact of some bullshit that happened a couple years ago, and it's just like it was one of those things where you kind of live life just wondering, like, is this ever going to have repercussions behind it? Like, is there ever going to be a time where this is going to come back and haunt me in the future? Now, I'd much rather it had happened now when it did, just because of the fact of it's only been a couple years since all this shit happened. But um, I'm just saying, like, I would much rather it happen now than like 40 years in the future. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, do you remember when you did this? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, now you're fucked. And then I'm in like an even worse position because I'm a lot of times gone by or something. But I I don't I mean, I don't really know. I'm just as confused, okay? I don't even know when my court date is. I don't know when I got a summons, which summons is directly a form of saying, like, look, you have to come to court. Like, you got to. And if you don't, we send out a warrant for your arrest and we arrest your ass. Now, not appearing in court would be dumb because they would put a warrant out for me and they would arrest me when they found me, and then I'd be in more trouble because the thing that I'm going to court for would be dumb for not showing up to court in the first place. Like I said, it's like a crime as if like Matt Freeman slapped the hand of somebody else and now he's got to go to court. It's like, I mean, that's still assaulting somebody, and I didn't assault somebody. But I mean, that's like the equivalent of what I'm going to court for is like something extremely stupid that not showing up to court and getting arrested for would make literally no sense because I'd just be fucking myself over worse than if I just dealt with the consequences. And like I said, it's something that happened years ago that I always thought that something would come of it and it never did. And now that it has something coming of it, it's just kind of like, I knew this was going to come. Like, I knew this day would come. I just didn't know when it would come. So having it happen wasn't the biggest surprise of my life. It was a surprise opening a summons letter that was like this fucking thick in the envelope, but it wasn't a surprise of like, what is this? Why am I doing this? I have no idea what's going on. Like, I knew exactly what it was for, and I knew, so it was like less of a surprise that way. But besides that, it was still a bit of a kick in the rear end of like, you remember when you made dumb decisions a few years ago? They come back to haunt you. So there's that. So hopefully figure all that out. Get everything solved the easiest I can. Easy. Lay down. Down. You're being loud and annoying. Oh. Well, Joe, I just finished explaining partially of it because I don't want to get too deeply into it. But I just got a summons for court. I have to go to court for something I did a few years ago. It's nothing too serious. I'm not gonna go to jail or anything, but it definitely fucked me over because now I got shit that I'm gonna have to pay for, and I'm not happy about that. My computer's dead. My gaming computer's dead. I have to buy a new graphics card for it. Lucky me, it's a $600 fucking part. Just a lot of bad things piling up, and that's why I have been avoiding live streaming. It's hard to be positive when you have such negativity running through your life. But I'm here now. I figured I couldn't skip another night. I might as well stream at some point for some amount because, like I said, I might have to go over to a buddy's house to actually help him with his computer, which I thought was actually funny as I'm having horribly bad internet or computer problems myself, and here I am going to somebody else's house to help them with their computer. But obviously, it's not to say my computer skills is what's fucked up. It's the $600 graphics card that decided to blow up on me that caused me to have computer issues. So no matter what I do, it's broken. I can't get to fix it. I can't figure out a way to solve it. It's just broken. And with no graphics card means I have no video, and with no video means I can't use the computer. So now my computer's just sitting here. And the worst part about it is I was in the middle of editing the video from down south, and guess what? Can't upload the video until I get a graphics card. Guess what? Can't get a graphics card until I have money, and guess what? It probably is going to be a damn month or so before I can even afford to get a graphics card. So we're talking like 2 months after going down south, I'll probably be able to post a video of us going down south. Like, that's how fucked up it is. And that's why I'm really upset. It's because, like, games aside, like, okay, I could game on my Xbox and game on my fucking phone for Christ's sakes if I really have to. But editing, all my editing stuff and all my videos are on the computer. So until I can physically see them, they just sit there. I have no other way of getting to them. It's a good and bad thing about computers. Tower computers, really easy to get to. Everything's sitting right here in the complete open. All I gotta do is grab it, slide it out, put the new one in, and we're good. But here's the problem: everything's expensive. That's where the problem comes in. Oh, um, I mean, I think the biggest video file that was on my computer was probably only maybe 2 or 3 gigs. Well, the graphics card that's in my computer right now is a Radeon RX 480, 4 GB. So really, it just needs to be a Radeon, obviously, because as much as I like to know a lot about computers, I didn't really realize until I started looking up about this graphics card and everything that the Asus motherboard that I have only runs on like AMD and MSI type graphics cards. I didn't realize that. I thought maybe it would be able to run on anything. So right now it's just a Radeon RX 480, 4 GB. Which really, I mean, it's funny when you look up the damn graphics card. You got like so many people out there that say this card's like the best thing in the world, and then you have like other people out there like it sucks. And I'm like, dude, I've had this thing for 4 years, and it's great. I mean, it was giving me 1080p signal for a lot. Never struggled with games, but obviously, apparently, it put a beating on it because it died. Um, so evidently, it was definitely being used really hard. When I turned my computer on, it either doesn't work at all or it works at first and it gets to the loading screen, and then the moment that it pops up the sign in area where you have to put your password in, it fucking cuts out, and then I have my blue screen behind me where it just says no signal and the computer just sits here. Computer runs, it's just obviously the graphics card crashed, so it just sits there. You can't see nothing. So it's a bit on the depressing side of things. I mean, I had a problem with my graphics card a few years ago, but the problem seemed to fix itself, and I've had my computer inside my house for the last 2 years, and I've had zero problems with it. So I'm almost wondering now if transporting the computer from out or inside back to outside, if that's what caused the problem. Like, I'm not saying that it was the problem. I'm sure the graphics card already um um all right, I'll type it into the chat here. That's why. That's what I need. Radeon RX 480, 4 gigabyte. Oh. Hey. Beautiful thing, computers. Once you learn them, they're so easy. I mean, troubleshooting's a bitch. Izzy, didn't I tell you go bed? Lay down. Now. So we can keep talking about computer stuff on the side. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate your effort. But my the only problem, Joe, is I took all right, well, I appreciate that, Robbie. Any effort is more effort than I expect, so I appreciate it. But the problem is, Joe, is I took all the videos off of this card and I put them onto the computer. So that was weird. I tell my computer and my computer fan spun. I took all the videos off the card and I put them onto the computer's hard drive. So since the video card doesn't, or the graphics card doesn't work, I can't get to the files. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, everything that's on my computer is currently trapped by the fact if I can't get to them because they're on the hard drive of the computer. And obviously, with no graphics card, I have no video. With no video, I can't control anything. So I appreciate your offer, but unfortunately, I can't really use it because I don't even have the videos together. I have them trapped on my. Now, if you had a tower computer, I could totally swap my hard drive with your hard drive. It would struggle a little bit because obviously this being a gaming computer, it's got a whole lot of like a lot of oh, that's dope. See, and that's why I reached out to Facebook, Robbie. I reached out on Facebook and I just simply was like, obviously I figured, if somebody wanted some money for it, I could try to pay them, but with not really having work and making money at the moment, the money at this point in time is a little bit strugglesome, but at least getting the point out there and figuring out if maybe somebody out there had one. And there was one person who was like, I have that in my computer. And then that was it. And I was just like, well, that isn't helpful to me just for you to tell me you have it too. Like, I need one. It's not, I literally said in search of Radeon RX 480. And he's like, I have one in my computer. And I'm just like, cool. Like, thanks. That helped me a whole lot. And then somebody else reached out and told me they had a Radeon RX 580, so it's the one size bigger, which would still work, but he wants like $200 for it. And then I'm like, well, if I'm already spending $200 on a used, a little bit upgraded one, I might as well spend another $200 and just buy a brand fucking new one, so that way I don't have to worry about having a used one. So if your cousin wants some form of compensation, we can work something out. I'm cool with that, but obviously I'm trying not to spend a million bajillion dollars if possible. Realistically, I mean, I don't, my computer knowledge is like, I know what everything in the computer is. I know what you gotta have, and like how it works and what it plugs into and how they all work together. But that's like as far as it goes. The graphics card being broken, I know what it is, know how to take it out, I know how to replace it. But like, I don't know. There might be a slim possibility that there's a Izzy. I swear to God, lay down now. You being squeaky, it's annoying. Down, down, all the way. Don't move. But yeah, I'm like I said, I don't know if maybe there's some way somebody could take my graphics card and fix it and like do something to it and fix it and give it back to me. I don't know, because I don't know enough about computers at that point. Like I could take one apart, but then I'm just gonna stare at it and be like, looks like a motherboard and some chips and some other stuff, and then that's as far as I'm gonna go because I don't really understand it. When I looked up the graphics card, it says that you need at least 500 watts of power from your power supply to be able to run this, because it runs on average of like 400 watts, just the graphics card. And then when you talk about the whole rest of the computer demanding energy, that a lot of times the reason they crash is because a lot of times the reason they crash so much is because they don't get enough power to them. Well, I won't say rip it like I broke it or something, but I took the computer apart earlier today, pulled my power supply out just to see, because obviously this wasn't a PC I built. I built the PC pre-built. So I don't know exactly everything that was in it. So I pulled the power supply out, but the power supply is a 600 watts. So there's no way my power supply isn't providing enough power, because it provides 600 and you need a minimum at least 500 to be able to run the graphics card and the rest of the computer, like, and have it whatever, work well. And so since I have 600, that means I got at least 200 extra watts running through my computer, where everything else should be fine. Like, it shouldn't struggle running the rest of it. But I tried switching over hard drives, switching to an old laptop hard drive, because some people say you got to watch out while getting rid of old computers, because you got all your private information still on the hard drive. And a lot of times what happens is people take yeah, Robbie, you're out there for the win. Her phone died, and now that we have made you a watcher as well, now you're helping her support me and helping support me yourself, and I appreciate that. But yeah, so everybody always says, like, you gotta watch out, because if you throw away a computer, somebody can take that computer and steal your private information off of it, blah blah blah. Which, I mean, yes, could do that, but I'm not worried about that. Like, that's not the reason I do what I do. But I keep all my old hard drives, because you never know, you might have had like some pictures on there or a video on there that you really wanted. So every single time a computer has died in my life, I've kept it. Here's the funny part, okay? I've had a lot of laptops. I end up breaking every laptop. And this laptop I have here, I've had for around almost 4 or 5 years, and I've never broke it, which, knock on wood, I'm fucking happy about, because it was about once a year I was going out and buying a new laptop because I would break it. And every time I broke one, I keep the hard drive because, like I said, there might be something on this hard drive that I want, but unlike a tower computer, I can't just swap hard drives out on a computer or on a laptop. I mean, I could, but I've taken enough laptops apart to know that I usually break them while trying to get them apart. So it's just not really something I try to do, is taking them apart. Excuse me. So I know I had a lot of laptops in my day. And realistically, I think I still have one or two of them floating up top, but I have this whole stack. This is five hard drives, all from computers. Oh, I am absolutely a Mountain Dew fan. If I had Mountain Dew right now, I'd totally be representing them, but unfortunately, all I have is a half-drank Dr. Pepper, and being as they're not the same company, I don't feel like repping them because I want to be sponsored by Mountain Dew. But yeah, I have every hard drive for every computer. And the funny thing enough is, as I grabbed each one and was looking at them, like, what one should I plug into my hard drive? I actually remember what each computer was. This was the most expensive laptop I ever had. The only reason I know this is because of a stupid black cover on the back of it. It was only a 250 gigabyte hard drive, which is really small for nowadays standards. But when I bought the computer, it was like $2,000. It was an expensive fucking laptop. Like I said, just keep all of them. Like I said, most people got the whole like, oh, you gotta keep them so people don't steal your information. I just keep them because I'm like, it's a damn good hard drive. I just broke the computer inside that they were inside of. So I've got a fuck ton of hard drives. I almost thought about deleting all of them because obviously this computer has 1, 2, 3, 4. The ability to have 4 hard drives hooked up at the same time because it's a gaming computer. It's meant for massive storage. In which case it would more make it like a server than it's a real computer. But I was thinking about hooking them all up and running them, but being as I'm already having computer issues, probably not the greatest thing to add a whole bunch more powerful things to it. This one's a 250 gig. This one's from 2006, so that's a really old computer. This computer is from when I was still in high school. All right, well, I will absolutely check it out, brother. Because if it's a Mountain Dew mini fridge, I am jealous already because that'd be dope as shit. Which is cool because I also did learn that there's a YouTuber that I like to watch on YouTube, and he represents Mountain Dew, which he also is not sponsored by Mountain Dew, but he always talks about Mountain Dew, and he's always like doing the same things I am, where like he represents Mountain Dew in the sense of like Mountain Dew is the best, fuck everything else. And Mountain Dew actually sent him a full-size fridge that was a Mountain Dew fridge, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, dude, if we represent Mountain Dew enough on here, they might actually hook me up with something dope. Imagine just having a big Mountain Dew fridge sitting right here next to it, and I could just every day I just crack that bitch open, grab a Mountain Dew out, and be like, "Thank you to Mountain Dew for hooking me up with this badass refrigerator." Gotta say it with a southern accent though, because everybody loves the fact if I can speak like a fucking redneck. And as much as I would love to say that I just do it as a joke, I realistically do it because it's in my heritage. I am hardcore from a farming family. And my mom is from the city. So when my dad and my mom got married, my dad was in the Coast Guard. They were living in Virginia Beach. And then when my dad got out of the Coast Guard, they moved back to Ohio. And my mom did not want to live on a farm, whereas my dad did. And since my dad loved her, he obviously decided to live in the city. So now I am first generation Freeman to live on a city lot instead of a farm, which depressed me because I would have much rather been on a farm than in the city. But what can you do, you know? All my families is rednecks and farmers. Lots of moonshine too. God damn, that's one thing that slid through my family from generation to generation. It's never changed. Never got any like actual information from anybody that says like your family used to be bootleggers, but I would guarantee you that somehow my family bootlegged whiskey back in the day because we've got a family recipe of moonshine that's been passed on from generation to generation, and it's fucking potently powerful. And I'm sure that if it's lasted this long being passed along, that motherfuckers probably made a good chunk of money off of it back when it was illegal to drink alcohol. So, uh, I've actually never been taught how to make it. I've consumed it and I've watched my father make it, but I'm yet to be divulged into learning the beautiful act of making such beautiful alcohol that like destroys your liver as you drink it. Um, yeah, really wish I knew somebody with a computer, like with a tower computer. It would take 10 seconds to unplug their hard drive, plug mine in, turn the computer on. Computer's going to freak out at first and be like, whoa, the drivers we have aren't set up for this hard drive. And it's like, well, no shit. Just run the damn program. It will boot up Windows in safe mode, which is completely fine. I could simply grab the files, drop them to my external hard drive, and then I could fucking take my hard drive out and be perfectly fine. That's like my biggest issue at the moment. Is like I can't really edit nothing, but still having the stuff to be able to be edited would be a lot better than knowing that they're all trapped on a hard drive that can't be gotten to because it doesn't work. So what I've been doing is I let the computer sit for a long period of time. I'm about to do it now. It's been 51 minutes since I last turned my computer on. So um hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot my internet cable is a little flaky at the moment, so I'm not sure if it's going to want to allow me to turn my computer around or not. But boom. Okay. See if this works together. Okay. So you see the TV's got no signal. Computer's off. Graphics card right here. This big black thing right here in the middle. Graphics card. Okay. You got it? You got it? Now, you got power. Turn it on. And it's not working from the get-go. So obviously the graphics card, the reason you can tell it doesn't work from the get-go is because the fan isn't even spinning. It's just sitting here not moving. So it won't work obviously because the graphics card tells the computer that it can't turn on because the fan isn't spinning. Okay, now the fan just booted up on its own. I have no idea how that happened. But we still have no signal. So we'll give it a few extra seconds and see if she wants to decide to give me a little bit of signal, which I know she won't. So it's really kind of pointless to do this, but it's fine. I'm doing it for the sake of trying to fix it. No, it's not fixable. Check the HDMI in the back. Still not working. Fan's running. Radion's not working. Everything else is working, but that's not working. So now I'm going to hold the power button until it shuts off, which anybody knows computers knows that's not good to shut off a computer this way, but it's the only way I got to shut it off because I can't hit the fucking power button. Now here we go. Let's turn it on again. Okay, graphics card's not booting up. Imagine that. Let's see if it takes the time. Sometimes you can get away with spinning the fan and having it like boot start itself. But by the looks of it, it's really not doing it now. I really wish it would just work enough to show you what it does, but now it's just refusing to work at all, where it's just not working. But like I said, normally it will come up, and it'll spin a little dial down here at the bottom, and it says ASUS because the motherboard first is the first thing to boot, so it pops up and says ASUS, and then it switches over to me going into login, and then the graphics card shuts off. Okay, graphics card spun up again, which again, I'm not getting any signal, so I'm not holding my breath that anything's going to change. It's seated properly, so it shouldn't have any issues of not being connected. But here we go again. We're just going to shut it off by holding the power, and it's dead. You see this massive beard I got? It's about the only beautiful thing in this photo at the moment. Wait a few seconds, turn it back on. Now let's watch. Okay, graphics card still not working. The worst part about it is it's got, this computer is considered oh, my camera just fell. That's great. Now next thing you know, it won't fucking work. My computer is what they call a VR ready computer, which means that it only comes with one HDMI port and 3 DVI ports. Everything about computers and DVI ports, they're just like a fancier version of an HDMI. I don't have any DVI plugs, but I did buy at one point a plug that goes from DVI to HDMI. I've never used it, so I lost it. And well, the problem with that is, Joe, I'm not really 100% sure how I reset the BIOS. There's a button by my BIOS that says like BIOS button, and then you press it, but when I press it, nothing happens. BIOS flashback is what it's called. So it's like the way of resetting it, but I hit the button and nothing happens. So I have no idea exactly what the button does. You can turn it on and do it again, but I don't know. Maybe I have to hold it. I never thought of that, actually. Nope. Yeah. See, it's just a button. I just hit it. It does nothing. Hold the button for like 10 seconds, let it off. Still does nothing. And that's another thing, is a lot of people are saying that like if you update the graphics cards and the updates for a more powerful graphics card that you don't have, it will like fuck your system up. But my computer hasn't updated in a long time because I usually stop the updates due to the fact of that it can cause problems. I've had updates cause problems in the past, but my drivers are all up to date and everything should be good. So I won't really know why it doesn't work, besides the fact of it just doesn't work. It just hates me, and now it keeps booting itself back up, but it doesn't do it. I'm not a wizard, okay? I can only do so much. Which realistically, I do have a secondary PCI slot. I have a secondary PCI slot, but does anybody know if you have two PCI slots? I'm sorry for the brightness. It's the stupid computer lights that are causing the issue. But so like with memory, for instance, you have to use the first memory stick slot, and then you have to use the third, and then if you want to upgrade the last two, then you use the second and the fourth. It's just the way that it's all set up. So if I switched my fucking graphics card and I moved it down to the second PCI slot, do you think that it would still work? Because my computer has the ability to have two graphics cards, and I obviously only have one. And I'm sure that the computer graphics card's bad, but I also could still put it on the second PCI slot, and then if it didn't work, it would at least prove to me that it's not like the motherboard that's causing the problems. Because like I said, at the moment, the graphics card's running, but it's not doing anything. So it's like I don't know what to trust. I don't know if it's just running because it's got power to the fan and the fan's spinning, even though it's not really working. Like that's the problem with computers. There's like 20 different things that it could be. And the only way that you can truly know what's wrong with a computer is if you have a second computer to test things on. Being as this is my first gaming computer, I don't have another one to test. So, you know, if a buddy of mine had a gaming tower, I could take my fucking Radeon out of mine, stick it into theirs, and if it worked on theirs, then I would know that it wasn't my graphics card, you know? Then it would point to, okay, apparently your slot for your computer on your motherboard's bad, or something else is bad, which is causing your fucking video not to work, and shit like that. But like I said, I don't have any form of test, so all I'm going off of is the fact if I turn my computer on, everything's plugged in the way it's supposed to be, and I get no video. Which obviously my video comes from my graphics card, and with the graphics card sometimes not even spinning the fan, makes me automatically assume it's got to be the graphics card. But when I say there's times where I turn my computer on and it works all the way to the point where it lets me just about to sign into my computer and then the screen goes black, it makes me think it has to be the graphics card, because then at that point it's like, well, it was working perfectly fine. And with the fact of it's running right now perfectly fine, but no signals coming out of it, makes me again think it's got to be the graphics card. But then a lot of other people say, well, what if it's the BIOS and all that shit that's on your hard drive? What if you've got a bad driver on your hard drive? And that's also very true. If the drivers on the hard drive aren't good, they're not going to boot whatever the driver is supposed to run. And if the driver for my video card isn't working, it's not going to boot up the video card, and henceforth I won't get any video. But like I said, being as right now, as of this very moment, the entire computer is running and the fan in the graphics card is spinning, but I still have no signal, it still points me pretty much 100% into the fact that it's got to be the graphics card. Like it's just dead, and there's no other way of fixing it. Like it's dead. It's just done. Just gotta give up. I gotta stop crying about it. More or less, I'm just mad that Asus didn't put an onboard fucking video adapter onto my fucking computer, because at least I would still be able to access things. I just wouldn't be able to play video games, because obviously the onboard HDMI setup wouldn't have like the graphics behind it. It would just be able to allow you to use the computer as just a simple computer, which, like I said, would work enough to allow me to grab the videos, drop them onto my hard drive, and then just wait until I got the fucking graphics card. But unfortunately, it doesn't. It runs solely that's actually a really good point, Joe. I'm surprisingly glad that you decided to look that up, because you said battery at first, and I was like, all right, Joe, you gotta know by now that there's no batteries in the computer. But then I totally realized that yes, there is totally a big ass battery sitting right in the smack dab middle of my computer, which actually, now that I look at it, is actually completely blocked by my graphics card. Oh, look, the graphics card's not working. Power off. Maybe that's what I do. I could do that right now. I mean, I don't know where to put the computer, or the live streamable computer, because where the laptop sitting is technically where I work on it, or where I work on my computer at. So I might have to just pick up my computer and set you on top of my other computer while I work on it. So you might not have the best view of me, and I apologize for that. But now that Joe's got my head spinning, I want to try it. Because at this point, if I could do a simple fix as easy as just unplugging the damn battery and having it work, I'd much rather it be that than fucking and have that work and not have to go through the hassle of worrying about getting a brand new graphics card. But
I'm also not going to hold my breath due to the fact that I have no real idea what disconnecting the battery is going to do, and I hope that I don't further fuck my computer up by disconnecting it. First thing to always do is remove the power from your computer before working on it, because you'll learn the hard way when you fry something by shorting something out, and then you're like, oh great, now I just fried my motherboard. I did not learn that from personal experience. I learned that through friends of mine who are computer nerds and stuff my entire life, and they were the ones that were like, oh hey, if you ever work on one, you better make sure you unplug the battery, because you fuck some shit up if you don't. All right, Joe, I need you to figure out what the repercussions of disconnecting the CMOS battery is, because, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on it. And so knowing me disconnecting it will also ruin a whole bunch of other stuff, which, if that's the case, I would obviously just much rather wait for a new graphics card if that's the case. But if not, then it's fine. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what will happen. I mean, I know for a fact that the computer will forget what time it is because it lost the battery that keeps track of the time and all that stuff. The whole point of the battery is to keep computer processing parts inside of it alive. That's what I'm just saying. I'm not sure it will be ruined. And I have to pee really bad, so I apologize, but this coffee went straight through me, and I'm going to step outside and take a pee real quick. Oh, right. I took the most glorious pee of my life. Whew. Well, I'm glad that Joe did some research that somehow I didn't find, because I definitely spent a good portion of probably 6 hours today looking all kinds of stuff up about this computer and possibly how I could fix it if I could, but most of it was beyond me, which isn't that hard to get beyond me. Like I said, as much as I know what things do and where they go and how to connect them and what they do in general, not really the smartest guy. I know a lot about computers, like a lot, but I can't take a computer, like parts of a computer apart and be like, oh, well, this is the thing, and I could do this, and this would solve it. Like, I don't know none of that. So first off, got to undo the screw that tarps the fucking. Okay, you gotta give me some slack here. Thank you. It holds my graphics card in place, which I had 2 of them, but I removed them earlier and only put 1 back because I'm lazy. And I was like, if I'm going to constantly be taking this thing apart, then I'm not going to continuously put both screws on. I've disconnected the power from the graphics card. And I need to reach inside of here and press on this button so I can eject this piece of crap graphics card. I say piece of crap, but it's actually a decent graphics card. Look at that baby. Look at her. Look how beautiful she is. Radeon. She doesn't work, but she's still kind of beautiful. Smells like cigarettes. Surprising that. See, and this is what I was talking about. It's got fucking 4 slots on it, right? DPI, 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 HDMI. So It would really suck to think that my HDMI went out, but if I could find my goddamn DPI to HDMI cord that I know I have somewhere, I might still be able to get it to work, and it might not be the whole graphics card. It could just be the fact of the HDMI part of the graphics card is what's broken. I've never used the DPI ports before because, like I said, I have the cord that converts it from one to the other, but the DPI's setup is what you plug a VR headset into. So, like if you had the Oculus Rift or something, it comes with a DPI plug that you plug into your computer. So that's the only reason why I have them. That's why this computer is considered a VR ready computer, is because it has one HDMI that you can plug a normal television or screen into, and it's got 3 DPIs, which means I could have up to 3 VR headsets hooked up to this thing at once. But don't have a VR headset, so I don't have it. The only reason I bought a VR ready computer, even though I didn't have or even plan on using VR, is because VR requires a lot of really intensive graphics and processing. And so if you have a computer that is meant to be really powerful for a specific reason and you use it for other reasons that aren't even near as powerful for, I figured it should last forever. And forever was 4 years. So as you can see, the forever wasn't really forever, but it definitely lasted for 4 years. I'm going to take a quick look into my old little room over here, because I do remember, and this is the biggest problem of Matt Freeman's life, I do remember seeing the DVI cord more recently. But the biggest problem of Matt Freeman's life when it comes to seeing things is I see things and I tell myself, like, I need to remember where that's at. So when I go to use it, when I need it, I know where it's at. And then I forget where that place is, but I remember that I saw it. And then I go around looking all over the place, looking for something that I think I know where it's at, but I really don't know where it's at. And then I make a massive mess ripping everything apart trying to find it. And then when I eventually find it, I find out that it was never in the spot that I thought it was. It was in a completely different location. So I'm going to take a quick aha. For one time in my entire life, the DVI port was in the exact spot I thought it was. So I got a little bit lucky. But only saying a little bit, because now that I look at it, this fucking plug's covered in rust. And I know from other things that rusty computer parts never work well on a computer. So this is a DVI port. You can see it kind of looks like an HDMI, but it's a little bit different. DVI to HDMI. So if this thing that Joe has me doing doesn't work, I might try and hook this DVI port up and see if I get a better, result. If not, then we just have to accept the fact my computer's broken. Yeah, and see, the only problem I have with that, Joe, is my computer didn't come with a hard drive or a video disc. So let me show you what I mean. This is one that I took out of an old computer, and I'm not even sure it works. It has no CD disc. So the computer literally has no ability to run a CD-ROM. So if the OS crashes, I have no way of updating it because it doesn't have any one of these. Now I have this one, and I could totally plug this one in, but I'm not sure if this one works. This came out of a computer that was a bad computer, and I'm not sure what all in the computer was bad. So I'm hoping that maybe that computer ROM system thing would work, but I'm not sure. Oh my god, I got too many. I got two phones. One's broken and isn't even on, and the other one is on, but it's working too. Um. I got two phones. Okay. Sorry. I brought it up on my phone. Um, Wait. Unplug all cables except for the power. Unplug the power cable, and with the power cable, press the power button on the front of the PC. Remove the screws on the rear of the PC. Slide the side panel off from the rear. Oh, that's just going into farther trying to tell you how to take your computer apart. I'm kind of already got to that point. Reset okay. Power used to save the BIOS settings. This is how your computer knows how much time has passed even when it's been powered off for a while. So removing the battery will remove the source of power and clear the settings. See, that could be relatively helpful because obviously I really need that. And yeah, oh. Yeah, because even at that, if it removed settings from an update or something that happened that I just recently got, that would still be just as helpful. Like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going out, balling out of control at Barnes and Noble. Have you guys ever seen Hannibal Buress, a comedian, and he talks about his credit card being stolen, and somebody went out and spent $500 of his credit card on fucking Barnes and Noble. And I love it because it's an old joke, but I say it all the time now when I think of saying like balling out of control. It's like, who the fuck balls out of control at Barnes and Noble? Now I got that in my head every time I think I'm balling out of control at Barnes and Noble. I'm doing it, Joe. If you fix my computer, I'll give you a big hug. If you broke it, then I'm going to punch you in the nuts. How about that? Does that sound like a fair deal? Hey, let's make this clear. I've got 5 people watching right now, and some of you guys are talking and some of you aren't, but I'm not seeing any likes here, okay? I don't mug for much, but I'm going to bug everybody for likes because you're on here watching me. You might as well like it because you obviously like what you're watching at the moment. Or you wouldn't be here watching, would you? I can't see in my computer, and I was looking for my phone that I sat on top of my. Hey, we got 1 like. We got 1 of 5. Let's do it. All right. Now I'm trying to figure out how this fucking thing comes out because there's got like a little middle tab, and I don't know if I got to press the tab to be able to get the battery come out, or if the battery will just come out without pressing the tab. I don't know. I'm just trying. Oh, he's trying. I got a knife. You think the knife will solve the issue? Oh, fucking computers, man. Who would have thought Matt Freeman would be living this life where he's got to fucking fix computers? I can't get my knife in there. Well, unfortunately, my friend who needs computer help just texted me and asked me if I'd come help him. So ironically, isn't it that it's late at night and they're still asking me for help on something that I'm still trying to fix myself. I will be ending the stream to going over there so I can help them. But until then, I'm going to fix this first. And I've got to do it now that my brain is. Oh, no, Joe. You can't give me advice on how to fix the computer and then back out when it might go wrong. I mean, no, obviously, Joe, I'm very grateful that you were nice enough to look that up. I had not thought of anything like that. And it was a very, whoa, you got like a fucking Lord Cohegan. You have a fucking like a murder thingy on your screen or on your picture, but I live in the glorious state of Ohio, which sucks. And that's why I said it with sarcasm, but I do live in Ohio. That's truth. Trying to get in there. This battery really does not want to come out, which is a little bit sketchy, to be honest. Not really sure what. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's like delivering a baby, and then as soon as I got it to come out, it fucking flung at me. Look, it's my battery. Got it. I got it, guys. I got the battery out. Yes, Eastern Standard Time, my friend. Good to see a new face on here. All right, just updating them as to me finishing my stream real quick before I come over to help with the computer. Because here's the thing, and this is, wait, 9, wait, it's 9:11. Well, now you're saying so many numbers. Nice. That's actually funny. See, my graphics card is broken on my computer, and I'm really trying to solve the issue of fixing my computer. Yeah, I didn't figure out plugging it in right away, Joe. I figured they had to do a quick like system reset to kind of solve itself. But the problem is once you learn computers, it's like such a fulfilling thing. Like, I know how to work on computers. I can build them. I can do this. The moment that everybody in your life learns that you know what you're doing with a computer, say goodbye to being able to fucking not be around computers. My parents, my friends, everybody is constantly like, hey, man, can you help me fix my computer? Which, yes, I'm glad that now I know how to do it. Yeah, it's this is Radeon fucking thing is. Yeah, and that's my whole computer comes on, boots up, everything works, but it has no signal going to the monitor, which obviously proves that it's my graphics card isn't working. Fortunately, I got my buddy in the chat at the moment now who was telling me about something that might help fix it. Possibly, it's pretty slim that this is what's going to be the true culprit of what's wrong, but it's always worth to test and try because with computers, you never truly know what really is causing the problem. It could be anything, really, you know. So now we got the battery back in. We can slide this here motherboard right back in the PCI slot. Make sure it's locked in place, which it just did. Which at least the beautiful thing about computers is how they designed them to lock into place. Close that up. Now I got to remember what I did with that screw, which is right here. I got to put the screw back into the graphics card so it stays where it's supposed to be, top of once I start it, I got to kind of hold the graphics card up so it's actually seated correctly, because that could also cause problems. Tighten that bitch up. She's nice and tight. Now we're going to plug in this here power cable into said graphics card. And last but not least, I got to plug in the power cable, which is really far away, and I unfortunately absolutely it is, man. It is troubleshooting's the worst, and that's what I was saying earlier in this stream. Having an idea of what's bad is like okay, but not knowing for sure is what's the problem, because now you have to go through every fucking system. Because like I said, the graphics card isn't working, but that's not to say that it's the graphics card's fault. It could be the fucking motherboard that crashed. It could be the operating system that crashed. It could be 100 different things that crashed that made it so the fucking graphics isn't working. So that's why I am trying to do my hardest and trying to figure out what it actually is causing the issues. But we have everything plugged in again, how it's supposed to be. Just turn the computer around. Unfortunately, I got it in such a bullshit spot that it has to be exactly where it was, or else the power cable doesn't reach it. I still haven't reconnected the screws to my power supply. So the power supply is floating in the bottom of my computer, and I have no real grip on it to be able to try to plug this fucking thing in. So now I just got to try to do my hardest to get it to go in. Shit. Should have screwed this thing back in. Now, of course, this is what my problem is. I can't get the power plug back in. Oh, fuck, son of a bitch. Because the power supply is sliding around in the bottom of the computer since I unscrewed it. Turn on the power. Everything's plugged in. Got to plug in the HDMI real quick because I would have been confused when that didn't come on. Slide the computer back a little bit. Here's the moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tip you down a little bit so you can see the screen. Let's see if this works. Comes on. And the graphics card isn't spinning. So it kind of proves that it's not working. So it was a valiant effort, Joe. Valiant effort for sure. But obviously, I think that right there was just a further last proof that I have that it's the damn graphics card that's causing me issues. And nothing else. So I unfortunately have got to go because I got to go help Buddy with his computer now. Because like I said, unfortunately, once you allow people to realize that you know what you're doing with computers, everybody then hounds you to work on their computers because they know you know. The graphics card is 4 years old. Everything in the computer is 4 years old. I bought this computer pre-built 4 years ago. I could have built my own, but I was tired of doing all the crazy research and figuring out what I wanted and this going and this. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to buy a pre-built gaming computer. Spent $2,000 on this computer 4 years ago. It's lasted good until the graphics card problem, and now it's giving me all kinds of hell. So until I get another graphics card, hopefully Robbie can help a brother out, even if he can just reach out to his cousin and possibly find me a replacement of some sorts of way or anything would be great. But yeah, and that's why I'm really not mad that my graphics card died. In theory, I've technically used and abused it. I've played a lot of powerful fucking games on this computer, like Call of Duty and all that shit. So my graphics card's been through a lot. So to think that it only lasted 4 years is not really like, oh, that thing should have lasted longer than that. It's kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, I've beat the fuck out of it for 4 years. So yeah, it's going to eventually crash. But like I said, I'm not really too upset with it. I'm pretty proud of it for lasting as long as it is. It's just a fact of it's so goddamn expensive for a graphics card. Please don't say that please don't say that kind of language on my channel. I would appreciate it. We don't use slang and racist terms here. But Lord, I don't know exactly what your name is. Cohegan. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at figuring people's names out when they're not just their sole name. But yeah. So I look forward. Hopefully, I see you tomorrow. I will be live streaming tomorrow again from 9 to 10 o'clock. Cohagen. Okay, so it's a Cohagen. So Lord Cohagen. All right, I like it. Thank you for helping me pronounce that better. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I see you tomorrow because we can talk more about computers and stuff or whatever else you want to talk about. I talk about all kinds of things realistically. And but yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow for another stream from 9 to 11 Eastern Standard Time every single night besides Sunday. And I hope everybody had a fantastical night and you enjoyed the stream. If you liked this stream, a like would be much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, I would consider subscribing to keep up with this cool, awesome content you just saw here tonight. And if you're already part of the channel, if you could share the video and show other people the sadness that is Matt Freeman's life and his computers at the moment would be much appreciated. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Robbie, have a good night. Also, Holly, have a good night as well, since I know you're obviously watching on Robbie's phone. And thank you again, Joe, for looking that stuff up and giving me a hand when obviously I didn't ask you to, and you just chose to do it because you're a nice person. And Kendra, even though I haven't really talked to you directly, I guess thank you for showing up and supporting the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow. I suck at goodbyes. Bye.